This is Danelle Lejeune from Ossabaw Island Writers Retreat, and we've got Juliana Gray here, who is our current poetry faculty. We are so grateful for that, to find good poetry faculty.
Hmm.
And I just talk about a little bit about Ossabaw Writers Retreat, but I was introduced to you through the Book Lady bookstore in 2017. They called me up and said, "We've got this amazing poet coming and we need you to open for her." And I said, "Can I have a free copy of the book? So can I get like familiar so I can
Mhm.
figure it out?" And they were like, "Sure, sure, no problem. Come and get it." And it was one of my first readings. It was my first reading opening for anybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
No, and the second one I did was for Anya Silver,
Uh-huh.
but you were the first. And Tony showed
Ah.
up. We were representing Ossabaw Writers Retreat, and he said, "Don't worry, she's not intimidating. She just looks like it. So just sit back,
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
the poetry." I was like, "All right, all right." And it was such an honor and a privilege. And so when he said, "We have to find new poetry faculty,"
Mhm.
I said, "I have an idea."
Uh, that was a lucky day for me. The day that you had that idea. I mean, reading with you at the Book Lady also, because I remember that visit to Savannah, and reading there. That was such a treat. But I am so lucky to have, fallen backwards into the gig of going to Ossabaw Island. I just love it there.
So what's your favorite part of our island?
I am a big taker of walks.
Yeah.
So I like to go for a walk, by myself, not too far out, but along the roads, and just look around at nature. I'm into birds. So I've got my Merlin app open, and I'm
Yes.
walking around and recording the species, but also, trying to be quiet enough to catch a sighting of the pigs.
Yes.
Don't necessarily want to go out so far that I catch a sight of the alligators, but I have seen the pigs a few times, and some other wildlife, and it's just so beautiful and pristine, and utterly just kind of cleansing. Whatever clutter is going on in my brain from just day to day business. Taking a walk out there just clears it right out. It's a perfect sort of reset button for me.
Were you with us the year that the baby owl was there?
No, I think I heard about the baby
I
owl.
heard about them. I thought that was the year you were there.
Oh, the one that we spotted in the palm tree on
Yes,
the,
that's right.
yes,
That's
yes,
right. I'm going to
I
post a
did.
picture of it on the media
Yeah,
for this. That
yeah.
I that was amazing.
Yeah, that was somebody in the truck spotted it when we were driving by, and we asked Mark to back up and take a better look. I got a couple of pictures of that little owl just staring at us like, I'm not here, I'm invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen so many birds there, but that's my favorite encounter.
Yeah, that was amazing. But we saw spoonbills, roseate spoonbills on that same drive, I think, and hinga, that Tony pointed out to
Yeah.
us, you
Yeah.
know, and a ton of warblers. They were migrating, I think,
Yes.
when I was there in March. So it was just tons of those little confusing little yellow guys flitting around in the bushes and singing their hearts out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that pretty much explains it.
yeah.
They like to enjoy the silence out there too.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite thing about Ossabaw is being able to hear nature.
right.
And then there are moments of true silence,
Hmm.
and we don't get to experience that very much.
Right. Yeah, hearing it and seeing it too, just going out at night and looking up at the stars,
Yeah.
with no light pollution is just really incredible.
Yeah, it's perfect in the spring. There's a specific meteor shower. It's not coming to mind
Mhm.
right now, but it's definitely influenced my poetry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, wait. So that's your favorite parts.
Yeah.
Do you have advice to writers wanting to attend our retreat and work with you?
Hydrate.
Yes.
Yeah, because the workshops are pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours a day for workshops, and then in the afternoons the readings or craft lectures and things like that in the afternoons and evenings. So even though there's time for relaxation, the part where we're talking about writing together is really pretty intense. And I don't know if everybody's prepared for that their first time there, to
Yeah.
just how much there really is. But that's energizing too, in a way. It's
Yeah.
exhausting and energizing both.
Yeah, I just made a note. Maybe we should get Ossabaw water bottles.
You definitely should get Ossabaw. That would be really good swag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some good swag in the making already. We found a place to print canvas bags and notebooks and redesigning the mugs to have alligators on them.
Excellent.
But that won't be ready
Nice.
till spring. And new t-shirts, but
Hmm.
we're just working on it a little
Yeah.
bit at a time.
Yeah.
But water bottles isn't something that I had on the radar, but that's true. That's true. We do
Hmm.
get it's hard work.
It really is. Yeah. Everybody takes it seriously. Um, but also have a good time.
Yeah, well, there's no place to escape to. You're there.
You're there, you're in it. Yeah. And you're
Exactly.
you're in that workshop, looking pretty closely,
Yeah.
at each other's writing. Yeah.
Yeah. That there's definitely a vulnerability that I mean, I experienced my first time, and you have to be able to trust this room of strangers
Yeah.
with your a lot of most personal work, but a lot of the writers that come to us, they're not coming from academia. They're not used to workshops or play shops. I've just heard that
Mhm.
term, the play shop. They're not used to it. They're shy, they're nervous, they're
Mhm.
really sensitive. You're not just
Yeah.
judging their work, they feel like you're judging them.
Right.
And then what I've seen you do is put everybody at ease.
Well, thanks. I tried to, but yeah, I think once you get in the setting, all those introverts who've been alone with their words realize, oh, I'm with a bunch of other introverts who've been alone with their words, and now we can open up to each other, and
Yes,
see if we can give each other some help.
yes.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite parts for sure. Um, okay, so you're our poetry faculty,
I
but you
am.
also write short form.
Hmm. Yeah.
My students discovered your Batman essay.
Yes.
Yes, and but
Yes.
they also found a Superman essay and they were like, what is her connection with Marvel Comics or DC Comics? Like what
Yeah.
is this thing going on here? And but they passed it around. We were working with one of your poems and the
Hmm.
honey don't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's what one of my students chose and so we were talking about it and then she found your other work.
Yeah, that's what comes up sooner than the poetry search for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a big nerd, basically, and I read a lot of comic books when I was in, high school, and a little bit in college. So a lot of those humor pieces, and poems actually come from playing what if. What if this were the case? What if Superman wasn't the only alien baby who was launched into space from a dying world? So I have a poem sort of imagining space being full of these little, potentially superpowered orphans. Or in the case of that Batman piece, that was in McSweeney's, that came from, Neil Gaiman, who told a little story about when he was writing the Sandman comic book that he was going to have a character masturbate, and he was informed by one of the editors at DC Comics that nobody does that here, so it just doesn't exist. And Neil Gaiman said, "Well, that explains a lot."
It does. It does.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's what my students said. And then so many of them have never seen a single Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Well,
assigned them to watch the Christopher Nolan ones over the
wow.
hurricane weekend, and they said best English class homework ever.
Here you go. How do you miss seeing a Batman movie? They've made 800 of them.
They're babies. They're so young. It's yeah, it's shocking to me now how far away from the pop culture of that new generation I am. and that they're
Yeah.
teaching me things as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My students are coming up to me and showing me TikToks and teaching me slang, which I like to learn the slang, trying to keep up with language. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, I showed them a poem that was written recently, but about the riots in 1998, and there were some
Mhm.
slang words in there that they knew and that I didn't, and they were
Mhm.
embarrassed to tell me what they meant. And I said to them, I don't know that that was the context of those in
Yeah.
1998. Let's do some
Yeah.
research and see how language has changed. And I was right.
Hmm. Hmm.
They were it was like a little mini history lesson. I love doing that.
Yeah, like if they see the word sick in a poem from 1998, that doesn't mean good.
No.
Something like that. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
right. Oh, there was some other things too. They were we've encountered that they did, what was it? Handle. They didn't know what a handle was.
Hmm.
And so they were like, does that mean like a cup handle?
Hmm.
And I tried to explain it to them. It's sort of like your Instagram name when it's not your own name,
Right.
an avatar. Like saying CB
Hmm.
radio didn't help at all.
No.
Um,
You
and
might as well have said telegraph.
yeah, yeah, and because this woman in the poem had a Shakespearean handle, and they thought for sure it must be a sexual reference,
Oh, oh,
like
like
a
a love handle.
Shakespearean love handle. And I was
Oh,
like, I
okay.
don't
Yeah.
think so. I think
No.
this poem was written in the 90s, and we were talking about like a live journal handle. And it's
Yes.
probably something like Ophelia 23.
Right.
So that person's going to email the poet and find out for sure.
Okay. Research.
Yes.
Hmm.
That is also their task this week is to email everybody. Like they each picked a poem and they have to research it
Hmm.
and conjecture. It's really
Hmm.
uh, my favorite exercise to teach.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
They think poets are rock stars and celebrities, and I know when the poets
Hmm.
encounter this, it feels good.
Ah, yeah, especially when you know deep down that you are a colossal nerd.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I said one thing I know about poets is they like to talk about their own poetry. Go forth, little birdies,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
find out.
I'm afraid that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
I feel
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah, one of them called Tony and spent an hour on the phone
Oh, wow.
talking about muscle cars from the 60s because,
Oh, boy.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Did the student get a word in?
No. No. No, and it
Uh-huh.
was right after the whole sheriff scam debacle. So,
Oh, yes.
yeah. Yeah, that was
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
that was fun. So, but we get into some of these exercises and arguments too at at Ossabaw, and I think that people come away from our retreat too with that sense of wonder that they just
Hmm.
spent so much one-on-one time. I've been to a lot of retreats. I mean, not a lot, but five it feels like a lot.
Yeah.
And there was very minimal one-on-one with faculty. And at our retreat, you have dinner every night. You have lunch, you
Hmm.
have breakfast, you have crafts and
Breakfast.
workshops, and not just with your assigned faculty, but all of the faculty. And the connections really are valuable.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the stories, our last retreat, we now have the legendary Ghostbuster moment in which Al threw a vacuum cleaner on their back and went after the giant palmetto bug, Ghostbuster style.
Oh, yes. Yep. I remember the morning of the great palmetto bug near catastrophe. Marked
Yes,
safe from palmetto bug incident of 2023.
correct. Correct. But then
Yeah.
we have more stories to write about. The
Hmm.
memoirists love that. Um,
Hey, poets do too. Yeah.
poets do too. Yeah. And I think that having more lived experience while so immersed in the writing process is also one of the things that makes our retreat special.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I joke that no, it's the really terrible bunk beds and the mosquitoes that are like this big and the palmetto bugs, which if you Google, because I don't have
Yeah.
time to explain what they are to some
Oh,
of the people seeing this. But they're
yeah.
quite phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Um,
there's an element of boot camp,
yeah.
with staying in the bunk beds and going out to the island on the boat and all that, but it helps people bond really quickly, it
Yes.
seems like, and so
Yeah.
everybody clicks, by dinner the first night.
Yeah. Somebody asked me what I would describe the housing, and I'm like, imagine a Girl Scout camp in the 1950s, and then it's aged since then.
uh that's a pretty good description.
Yeah.
The food's better than a Girl
The
Scout camp
food
in
is
the
better.
1950s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The food
Yeah,
is better.
that's a significant difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And that's something else we offer is that we can customize to people's dietary needs
right.
pretty easily. And a lot of retreats are just like, well, pack your own food. Good luck to
Yeah,
you.
good luck to you. Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I'm pescatarian, as you know, and usually that means vegetarian. And yeah, I do quite well with the meals at Ossabaw. So
Yeah,
thank you for that. Yeah,
we tried to make it low country special, and
right.
low country means a lot of seafood.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we have somebody who's gluten free that's regularly on our faculty
Yeah,
too. So we got to be creative and
right.
make sure we don't murder her with flour.
That's a really good goal, I think, for you to set for the workshop.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no murders in the on the
Hmm.
island.
Hmm.
That's a goal.
Right.
Certainly not with baking cake flour. Um,
Yeah.
okay, we just have a couple minutes left. Is there anything you want to add? Like if you were to say something to people who are thinking about signing up right now,
Mhm.
um, what would you say to them?
I'd say go for it. It's you would never find another writing retreat like it. Not just the place, which is amazing, but the people, right? The quality of instruction and just the quality of conversation around the dinner table is so lively and interesting. All these people from really different backgrounds and levels of experience, but everybody comes away with a big smile on their face, right? On the last day when they're trying to get people on the boat to leave the island, nobody wants to go on the first boat.
That's right.
Everybody wants to stay as long as possible, and get every little drop of experience out of it that they possibly can.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should, if anybody's listening and thinking that they might do this thing, but you don't know, go for it. Absolutely go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my approach as well.
Yeah.
And this spring we have at least one scholarship for
Hmm.
each genre and two half tuition scholarships. So three full and two half. And to be able to offer that is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Oh no, that's so awesome that you're able to do that.
Yeah, we're really grateful for our two sponsors and hopefully, I mean, my goal is to get more so that we have at least two fulls for each genre in the future.
Right.
um, because I found that really helped and motivate people. But
Yeah.
so we've opened up the scholarship applications already.
Hmm. Great.
And so if you know somebody, if you want to apply, definitely push them towards that.
Mhm.
And we have Christmas swag bags,
Ooh.
right? So people can buy Christmas. They could say, "Oh, I want to buy my favorite poet to full tuition,
Hmm.
but how do I put that under the tree?" So we have a gift
Hmm.
bag set that we send
Nice.
to someone who's done that.
Nice.
Yeah. So they
Oh,
get their swag
that's
early,
a lot of
basically.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited for that offering as well.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, I've got a Ossabaw hoodie with one of the donkeys on it, and I wear it all the time, and I always get compliments on the donkey itself. Really, you know,
Yeah.
people are, it's an intriguing fashion choice, but I think I'm rocking it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
The donkeys are beloved here. Okay, we have just enough time left.
Okay.
Is there something you'd like to read? Share some of
Sure.
your work?
Sure. I'll read one not too long. I'll read one that is about to come out in the Cincinnati Review. Something a little on the lighter side.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So yeah, this one's called The Ideal Reader. And here goes. Who is your ideal reader? A lit mag asked. And after careful thought, I decided it's Daniel Craig, circa 2006, deliberately emerging from the sea in his little blue shorts, flinging water from his hair, swaggering through the waves and onto the beach, white sand clinging to his bare feet and somehow muscular ankles, striding to the chaise lounge beside mine and opening a book of my poems. His eyes, blue as the Bahamian waters, blue as his minuscule shorts, undress the page, flickering at line breaks, tracking back to a naughty image or a turn of phrase he likes. He's not James Bond, because all of Bond's lovers die horribly, and I don't want to die just yet, not on a beach white as bed sheets, not when my ideal reader, 2006 Daniel Craig, has just discovered my poems. He finishes and turns those steely eyes to me. He nods and I can breathe again. I pour him an icy glass of lemonade. Remember, he's Daniel Craig, not Bond, and it's too early in the day for martinis. Thanks, he says. He sips and with salt-kissed hands turns the page.
Beautiful.
If your students don't know about the Batman movies, I don't know if they're going to catch Daniel Craig 2006, but there's a clip on YouTube, and believe me, I have watched it.
I might attach that to the posting. I just watched Quantum of
Oh,
Solace. Is that what it's
yeah.
called?
Yeah.
Uh, two
Kind of a
nights
bad
ago,
title.
and for some reason in my movie watching days, I missed that movie.
It's not the best one.
No, but
Yeah.
it's still and I struggled too because Sean Connery was my favorite Bond, and I
Yeah.
thought I just can't give up that
Hmm.
loyalty. It's somehow
Hmm.
some people feel about David Tennant and Doctor Who.
Right.
Um, but it was still good. It was still a fun movie and
Yeah.
007, you know?
Yeah. Totally fun.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'd forgotten because it's been so long since I'd watched them, I'd forgotten about the naming of his lovers.
Oh, yeah. It's a
Strawberry
little,
Fields.
well, that's pretty mild.
I know. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't. I'm not going to say any of the other names of his lovers because they're it's kind of problematic.
It is.
But yeah.
It
Hmm.
is. But
Yeah.
Strawberry Fields, but then, she dies that horrible drowning
There
in
you
the
go.
in the motor oil.
Yep. That's what happens.
That is what
Yep.
happens. And yeah, so I'll definitely ask my students,
Right.
and I won't be surprised if they haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, 2006, some of them may not have been born or may have just been infants.
I think they'd be infants. Yeah.
Oh, yikes. Okay, that makes me feel good about myself and my own
Right.
age, my self-esteem. Okay, cool. Great.
They are younger than my oldest child, and it is so strange, but it's
Yeah.
still I've got good students up in South Carolina, and I really enjoy working with them. They've got
Yeah.
a good sense of humor for 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. That's good. You're lucky.
Yeah.
And by the way, your hair looks great.
Oh, yeah. So not
Yeah.
just my face burned.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of suits you that the a little
Thank
lighter
you.
color.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I didn't know my hair was this color.
turns out.
It turns out, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I think it was this color when I was 7.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe, I mean, maybe next time try the salon, but it's a nice color.
Right? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I will do it different next time.
Yeah.
Um, for sure. All right. So then I'm gonna
Hmm.
yep, we'll apply online now.